Well, before we get started, I'm going to show you a video that I created. I've always been enthralled with watching how commercials are made, what the message is that comes out, and I turn that kind of into videos. So that way we're able to share our Rotary. Did you have to escape?
Wally? Where are you, Wally?
You have to escape.
I did escape. Getting closer.
And I showed both of them.
I know.
Wally. I haven't been here.
We wanted to
Why-
see your
go ahead,
action.
Go ahead.
I showed both of them how to do this.
Yeah.
You come over.
Yes, he did. He showed both of us. Thank you, Wally.
I will stay here.
I'll let you stay here by yourself.
Yes.
So once again, that's the video that I made. For myself, I'm an assistant public image coordinator for the zone. Our leader is past District Governor Eric Liu. He is the main person with our public image. Thank you. And he's not here today. He is doing something in California. He is at past RI President Rick King's 80th birthday and celebrating Rick King's 50th anniversary of being a Rotarian. So if you do the math, Rick King started at age 30, and the difference that he made and the impact is important and something that I truly admire. Membership, foundation, and public image. For years, Rotary really focused on the membership and on the Rotary Foundation. But how are we getting that information out? How are we letting people know? That's how public image became an important part of the three-legged stool. Because what we do in public image, it strengthens membership, it strengthens foundation. And we have been 1.2 million Rotarians for how long? I mean, probably the last 20 years, and it hasn't gone up. So getting that public image out, Rotary realizes that the strength that they have there at RI and using that information and passing that down to the zone level, and then we on the zone level are passing it down to the clubs and the districts. So that way we can strengthen. Because if we don't have membership, it's not going to increase our giving to the foundation. If we don't have money going to the foundation, we're not going to be doing those district grants and those global grants and having the scholars. So it's an important thing to do. The other thing is that millennials, they're coming along. They love Rotary. They're making an impact on Rotary. But right now, some of them have more time than what they have with money. So that's falling on our shoulders. In 25 years, they'll be doing the important job of supporting the foundation. But right now, we need to also step in and bring in more people so we can help build that foundation. And with looking at, there's been a lot of research from Rotary International, and they did some surveys, and 75% of the people they surveyed said that they knew about Rotary. 35% of them didn't know anything about our programs, and 60% weren't even aware that there was a Rotary Club in their community. You can look at that as a challenge. You can look at it as saying, well, this is something that we now have some people that we can look for. We are open to that connections. And so we need to make those first impressions important and something that they understand that they have a goal in. Done right. It can increase membership and raise foundation giving. Once again, giving and making sure that we are increasing those members, that's where your public, when you're telling your story, that's what's so enthralling about Rotarians. Each of us have our own reason for being a Rotarian. So we need to be able to communicate that. Making the video, something like that, where you're posting it on Facebook or you're sharing with your friends, because we're all saying, I'm going to my Rotary meeting, or I was at Rotary and we went to this event, you got the photographs, but what does that mean to people that are seeing that? Are they saying, well, that's just a club that I can't join or I can't afford it? But letting them know that there's a return on the investment in their time and their giving. So we need to do a better job of that, and that's where public image comes in. It makes an important possibility for everyone to understand. Signage and the branding. How many of y'all are still using your old branding, your old logo that's on the left? That is something, I know, I see some people covering up their shirts. And it's an important thing. You had to get really close. I mean, people could see the logo and the wheel, but what was it? People would see it signs when they're coming into their communities, but what does that mean? That new logo, that new branding, you can see that Rotary logo if you're wearing it on a shirt from 25 feet away. You can see it on a sign that you understand that's Rotary and it's Rotary International. So using that branding that is going to be consistent, because if you look at the types of Rotary logos that you can search for on Google, it's astounding. And so we have that one message. They wanted it to focus. They wanted it to be cross-branding, where we're doing that for Interact. We're doing it for Rotaract. We're doing it for all of our youth programs. So that way, when they're in Interact and they go to Rotaract or they go start to join a Rotaract club at their college, they're going to recognize, well, there's the Rotary wheel and they're Rotaract. So that's my family. I need to join. Same as you have a lot of Rotarians that have family members that have been Rotarians, the second and third generation. What is public image? How different is it from public relations? For me, I believe that public image is telling the community about our impact, making it something that's there where they can see and what we have done, what we've accomplished, and what we plan to do, and that we need them to join us to make a difference in their community. It's telling those inspiring stories, that you're able to watch and understand and say, I want to be part of that. We're doing the right thing, but we're not telling anyone about it. So now we need to start stepping in, and that's how we use our public image, that we're able to tell the people that we're doing the right things, we're making a difference. And this is how we're doing it, and this is why we're doing it. Eric did a search for Clean Water Project. 808 million results in 59 seconds. But where's Rotary? There's a lot of names up at the very top of the list. We need to let the public know that we, as Rotarians, are doing water projects. If you want to get involved, if you want to, attend the Rotary meetings, if you have an idea, that we want to hear from you, and we can use that public image to help do that. Rotary equals trust. So having those people that you know that you're working together and trusting is the important thing. For years, Rotarians weren't sharing what was going on. We kept everything quiet. So now we've come to that point in our history that we need to make sure that the public knows what we're doing, that we're doing the good things, we're reaching out, we're wanting to have as many projects and making a difference as we possibly can. Only way to do it, sharing our stories. We have a great way. We were able to tell that service project that we went to, or that international project that we visited, or where we're doing our global grants. Why are we doing that? What makes the impact? I want you to remember this picture, how those three people are looking at each other and talking, because I'm going to refer back to this in a couple of seconds. Relevant. We all have our stories, and then we all have the people that we're talking to, and sometimes what we're trying to tell them is not important to them. And so it's finding that place where we can make it an important story so they understand what Rotary is. You know, if you're talking to a millennial, you're going to talk a little bit differently than what you would talk to someone that might be a retiree that's wanting to now join Rotary. They have more time, they have the funds. So making your story relevant is important. And share that among your members. Come down, drill it down to something that your club stands for. So that way all of y'all are giving the same message in the community. You know, who's your audience? Well, you look at this room. Out in the community, this is who we're trying to reach. So we need to first identify who they are, you know, the internal versus the external. I like to think of that small circle of friends that I'm talking to on a regular basis. Sometimes our neighbors see us walking out, putting out trash. Well, they run the other way because they know we're going to talk about Rotary. We need to expand our circle. We need to go further out into the community and start sharing the story. And that's where public image is able to jump in and to help. You know, those people who are our audience, you know, whatever age group, whatever age bracket that you're in, Rotary alumni. It's an important thing. I was on the Rotary International's Rotaract and Interact Committee for 3 years, and I also served on Rotary International's Joint Young Leaders and Alumni Engagement. I was able to interact. We had, each committee was about 12 members, half Rotarians, half Rotaractors. I got to hear, and some of them, the alumni committee, it also had Global Grant Scholars, it had former Rotary Youth Exchange students that have become Rotarians and the Rotaractors, and they want to join Rotary. One important thing to keep in mind is that when you're, any club here, how many of y'all have sponsored an outbound youth exchange student? Okay. When those students come back, more than likely, they've gone to a country that does Rotary differently. It's invitation only to the elite, only to those ones, and once you get on, no one else can come into that club until someone has passed away or they leave by their choice or, you know, God's choice. But it's something when they come back, they're waiting because that's how they've seen Rotary, they've lived Rotary. So don't wait, keep that list of every club needs to keep a list. And it needs to be passed down from president to president and from their new generation's chair down to the next new generation's chair. Who are those alumni that we need to stay in contact? Who did we send to RILA? You have their contact information. They gave you an application. You have the information about the Rotary Youth Exchange students. For the interactors, your Interact and Club Interact committee chair should know who their interactors are. So that way you can stay in touch and you can follow up with them within 3 to 4 years or 5 years or 6 years, whatever you think is possible, but don't wait for them to come to you. They're waiting for you to come to them because that's how they understand Rotary from their years abroad. Speak the language of the people you're talking to. So many times we use Rotary acronyms. The DG was talking about to the District Rotary Foundation Chair. I mean, there's so many Regional Rotary Foundation Chair. You need to not use those terms when you're doing your thing, so spell it out and let them know what's the best way to describe Rotarians. You know, for me, we're people of action. We see things that are wrong and we step in and we take care of it. We make a difference. We love and we follow Rotary's 4-way test. We apply and use service above self. So use those words when you're doing your information, your public image in your community. You know, communicate that to them. How many times do you see these type of photographs? We've either taken them or we've been in them. But what does that say? They've got some cool banners behind them, but you don't know what is going on. I'm referring back to that photograph that I talked about earlier, where those people were engaging and they were talking. That's the kind of photograph you want to have. All this missing is a big check that you're normally standing behind, but it doesn't tell you what you've done. It doesn't have a hashtag people of action sign in front of it. Have fun with your photographs. Have fun, because I don't want to join a club. If I did not know about Rotary, let's use Kiwanis. If Kiwanis came to me and said, I would like for you to join our thing, and I look at their photographs and all I see are photographs like this, I'm going to go, where's the action? Is that all you do? You meet, you take photographs. I want to do more. Another thing, a picture's worth 1,000 words. I'd like to correct some of this because you look at this, there's no Rotary signage, there's no Rotary cap, there's no Rotary hashtag People of Action or your Rotary Club hashtag Rotary Club Space Center. There's nothing there to tell you that Rotary's doing that. They're posting it, but you're not getting any information from that. That's why I say once you put those Rotary logos and branding on that, this picture becomes, 1.2 million words. It's telling them who Rotary is and what we're doing. Another great photograph. This is using the People of Action that you're able to download your own photographs and create your own, transform, inspire, and in polio. You're able to do these, but once again, what's wrong with that photograph? There's nothing except for that in the middle, but you don't have anything. They're not wearing any Rotary shirts. The guy is promoting another hospital. That's great. They've done a wonderful project, but there's no branding there. So you want to do that so it's visible. So let's call them the bandit signs or whatever. Have some of those made up so that way wherever you're doing anything, you can take the photographs and include that. That's People of Action. That's public image. That's what we need to have out in our communities. Once again, it's the connect, inspire, we transform, we end polio. Fantastic way of sharing what Rotary does because it's short, it's simple, it's concise, and it lets us know what we're doing and lets them know what Rotarians are doing here in our community. Where do you find all the great things that we have? Rotary International has really stepped up all the information they have at Brand Center. You can get your People of Action. You can create those templates using your photographs. Get on there, do as many as you want to, download them, pick the best that you like. It stays on the site for 30 days. Yes, Susie?
Can you go there and do your business card?
Yes, you can do your business cards, you can do PowerPoints, you can do your ads, you can do brochures, you can do flyers for an event that's coming up. All that you have to do is upload your photographs that you want to use. You can use stock photos from Rotary International, and then you can add information. You can customize those. So that way you don't have to go to a printer. Sorry for any printers that are sitting in the room. You can do your own. So you don't have to wait. Have multiple people doing this and trying it, because some are going to look at Rotary one way, some are going to look at promoting another way. Combine it and find what's best. They have the guidelines for using the Rotary logo. That's important. They have uploaded so many things that there's no reason not to do. You can create your own logo. You can have it where it is the West University Rotary Club on the top, and on the bottom you can put your website. You can do it above and below. You can do, wording, your customized wording on the right-hand side and underneath. So you can get creative. So don't just think it has to be just that way. You're able to go on there and do your own logos, and that's totally cool. And your interactors, and your Rotaractors, and your Rotary Youth Exchange for your club. So that way you're able to use it on everything that's going out, that you're passing out in the community. Use that new brand, that new logo, now on all your digital. Anything that you're doing on Facebook, anything that you're doing on Instagram, use that. You can do that now. You don't have to go online and you're able to just start using that, so that way that image is there. We have consistent branding, and that's an important thing. This is some of the People of Action campaign, the ones at the top. You can go in and customize your own. They really want us to not do like the changing the words of educate. They want us to stick with those 4 main messages. So, and it's such an easy thing to do. Yes.
You had shared at one of the trainings the app where you can put more than one photo together as one photo and use it for the ads. Could you maybe tell us about that app?
Well, I think it was Eric, but yeah, you can go in and combine them to where you've got multiples, and I believe that's either at Brand Center or check with Eric about exactly how he's doing. There's other formats that you're able to do that with, but that's an important thing, But the cool thing is that you're able to do your own photographs, and when you're in the community, I want to see, if I'm in Katy, I want to see Nick, and I'm going to recognize those people. I want to see Gary if I'm living in Richmond, because those are faces that are known in the community. Michelle, these are our leaders in our community, and we want to be putting them out. You also get to recognize some of those Rotarians that are new. How awesome is it to have a new Rotarian and you're using their photograph? How many times do you think they're going to share that on their Facebook page, on their Instagram, and that's what we're wanting to have, is that sharing. Yes?
You know, on the Club Runner templates, they've got like a banner thing that'll scroll. It's all their pictures. Can we replace those pictures? I've tried to look, and I'm
Yeah.
very smart. We can't figure it out.
There's a way. They have to be a certain dimension. I did it for and it's been a couple years since I've done that, for mine where it's that carousel that rotates the photographs. There's a way of doing it. I'll go back into mine. Send me an email reminder about that. But you're able to upload that information, so that way when you go to your own website, you have that cycling through at the very top. There's also a way of doing something like that on your Facebook page. And it depends on what type of a Facebook page that you have, but that's a great thing. Also, that video that I showed, you're able to upload something like that onto your Facebook page, so that way anyone that goes is not just having to scroll down, they're immediately getting that message. So that's what we want to have. We need to be telling more whys. Why are we helping? Why are we making a difference? You know, we have our 6 areas of focus, and from those 6 areas of focus, we try to do our projects. And most of our projects are going to fit within those 6 areas of focus, but we want to use that to tell our story. You know, and what's happening? What's happening is that we are making a difference, and this is what it equates to. You know, Rotarians, we're involved with peace. We're making sure that people are healthy, they have hope. So that's the message that you want to convey whenever you're doing your People of Action campaign. Rotary International has some great information to help you with that. What is the best platform? I don't care which one you pick. Just pick one and start now. Don't wait. Go on RI's website today, go to the Brand Center, and get information about all of this. There's someone in your Rotary Club that is maybe they're not a professional at doing this, but they do it a lot of times and they know how to get it done. That's who you want to have taking care of this. Don't have a committee of one. Have a committee of multiples, because one does Instagram, one might do Twitter, one might do Facebook, one might want to do a podcast. There's so many different things that you're able to do, but you just have to take an inventory of your members in your club and what do they want to do? How can they step forward? Get your interactors, get your rotaractors. How did I learn how to do that video that I showed at the very beginning? I learned it from an interactor. It's reverse mentoring. That's what Rotary wants to see. We want to see that we're getting them involved. Add them to your public relations committee or your public image committee. Add them to committees that are already in your club, because you're going to get feedback from them. You're going to get up-to-date information about social media and how to share and how to work. Another, the who, what, where, when, and why in your story. Rotary International has some great guidelines, one-page guidelines that help you start that story, how to finish it, what to include. And it's an important thing. Whenever you're doing, one of the important things, like when you're doing Facebook, when are you supposed to post those? You know, some say Wednesdays, some say Thursdays. There's a way that you can go into your Facebook page and you're able to see when people under your administration page, you can find out when people are looking at your Facebook page. Well, if that's Monday in the afternoon, guess when you should be posting information? Monday afternoon. And you do it consistently. And whenever you're posting, and have your club members not just like it, because that's something that we do, we're just scrolling down and we're liking it. You need to share that and ask your Rotary Club members to share it. And put a little note on there so that way people that are on their page get to see it. And then when people respond back to them. The most important thing you can do when someone responds or you post something, how excited are we when someone responds to a Facebook post? Or we do something with video. That is something that it incites everyone and makes them want to continue commenting. So it's an important thing. You know, Rotarians around the world, we have the same common goals. You know, we're working to make a difference. And so we need to share, we need to have our voice, and we need to have our actions speaking up for us. We need to show what that is, And each Rotary Club has a story to tell. Each Rotarian has a story to tell. On the format that I use for making my videos, it's as easy. If you can make a PowerPoint, you can make that video that I showed earlier. Okay? It doesn't take any training. You jump in, you practice, and then you finally post something. But the important thing is that Forbes.com says that by 2019, 80% of the internet traffic will be videos. If you post something that is a photo and text only, a video will have a 1,200% increase in views than just a photograph and text. If you're just putting text on your, typing something up and not a photo, you're getting less views. People are just clicking, but they're interested and they want to see. Millennials, they do not watch live regular TV like we all grew up watching. They're streaming their videos, they're online, and that's where we need to go. That's where we need to be posting our information if you want to attract them. You can't keep waiting for them to come to you. You have got to go to where they are. So doing this is something that will increase, hopefully, your membership. You know, telling why we're doing things is an important thing. You know, I have my Rotary story, Gary has his, Charlie has his. You know, Charlie and I are a couple. He does Rotary for one reason, I do Rotary for a different reason. So you have to tell multiple stories whenever you're doing this. Don't just rely on one message, rely on doing multiple things. We're not bragging, we're telling the truth. Okay, this is something that is an important thing to understand. If you feel like it's bragging, go ahead, but it's not really. It is making a difference. What's next for your clubs? What you need to do is to build a team of those communication experts, those people that are in your club that are doing this already. Your club public image chair should have a seat on your board of directors. If nothing else, you need to be inviting them to your board meeting so they hear, so they can prepare for that next message. We need to do things now. We need to plan 5 years from now. We need to look at what's going to happen 25 years from now. So laying that groundwork and having those people and involving them early is important. Have that public image in every one of your trainings. Anytime your clubs get together, you need to have your public image chair stand up and talk about it. What's going on? What do they need to hear? You know, and sharing those people of action stories is an important, you know, making those videos, using all the resources at Rotary Brand Center. You know, the public image of Rotary really is you and me. That's one of the themes that I kind of use in some of my videos is Rotary is you and me. I want it to be a personal message to the people that I'm reaching out to so they think that I'm talking just to them. So do the same thing. Try to make it to where you're engaging them and inviting them to make a difference. You know, thank you all very much. Rosemary is going to have, or your district public image chair is Rosemary. She's here. There was a breakout session during the session 2. So go to that. She's going to have more information. Anytime that you need to, reach out and contact me. I've been assigned different Rotary districts in Texas, but this is my home district. So I'm always ready and available to help and make a difference in your club, to come and speak, to come and present. But remember to include foundation, to include your giving to the foundation. When you go on to Rotary Club Central, there's a part in there whenever you sign in to do information where you can get a graphic that shows how much your club has given, how many volunteer hours, how much dollars that you have donated, and how much gifts in kind. So that's an important thing to share, that they see what it is. And thank you so much.